Welcome to NeoRoyal House of Pricey Cardboard. On today's episode of Commander Gameplay, we have some new friends over, Jen and Donni from the Filthy MTG Casuals. If you ever have the chance to catch a game with them, I highly recommend you do. They are a ton of fun. We played 3 games in this evening and already have another date scheduled, so you should see them again on here at some point. As we were picking what to play, we decided to go for a ladies' night pod, so all our commanders are epic warrior princesses. Jen is playing Ayula, queen amongst bears. This is, as you would expect, a bear tribal looking to aggro out the table with bears with +1/+1 counters on them and overrun effects. Ruxa from the Strixhaven Precons is a really sweet lord for these vanilla creatures. Donni is playing another mono-green deck, is Oviya, Pashiri, Sage Lifecrafter. This is mostly a token deck looking to flood the boards with a lot of creatures and pump them for the win. There's a neat artifact support package in there for the commander's tokens. Kaalia is playing Captain Ripley Vance once more. This is a Storm-like deck looking to either control the board with Vance's trigger or shoot phase directly, usually closing with an Underworld Breach finish or a Chandra's Ignition paired with the Blackblade Reforged. For myself, I'm playing my partner pair of Tymna the Weaver and Vial Smasher the Fierce. Originally a Kaalia deck, it kept a very similar game plan but is less glass cannon than my original list. Tymna keeps the cards coming and Vial deals extra damage when I cast my big angels and demons. Jen's opening hand contains Rune Clubbear, Reclamation Sage, Ayula's Influence, Bow of Nilea, Jungle Basin, and 2 basic forests. Kaalia's opening hand contains Electrostatic Field, Neheb the Eternal, Mana Geyser, Myriad Landscape, Valakut the Molten Pinnacle, and 2 basic mountains. My opening hand contains Weathered Wayfarer, Bastion Protector, Archfiend of Depravity, Strionic Resonator, Break Through the Line, Godless Shrine, and a basic Plains. Donnie's opening hand contains, well, you'll see. Quickly before we begin, if you could turn on the notifications so you don't miss any episodes, that would be really appreciated. Over the past few weeks, some of my friends' content stopped showing up in my recommendations and subscriptions. I would hate for our content to just disappear in a similar manner in yours. I know every channel asks the same, but it does really help. Back to the video.
I'm scared! Well, I don't think the carpet of flowers is gonna drop, right?
Okay, I took a picture of mine without laying it out for everyone. Not doing what Donni did.
I don't mind.
Donni is like, I know I'm gonna be the third one.
Yep, pretty much.
I'll land drop a Plains and cast Weathered Wayfarer. Donni land drops a Forest and cast Mana Vault. Kaalia land drops a Myriad Landscape, while Jen land drops a basic Forests.
Just realized that I'm going first with a Weathered Wayfarer. Great.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll land drop a Blood Crypt untapped and cast Break Through the Line. Donni land drops a Forest and casts Keeper of Fables.
Keeper of Fables is like the we have Oran Frostfang at home meme. Oran Frostfang at home.
Kaalia land drops Valakut, Molten Pinnacle, and pass. Jen land drops a Forest and casts her commander, Ayula, Queen Among Bears. I'll land drop a Graven Cairn and cast my first commander, Tymna the Weaver. I then go to combat, sending the Wayfarer to Kaalia. At the beginning of second main, I lose a life and draw a card. Donni loses a life to his tapped Mana Vault. He then drops a Forest and casts Woodland Champion. He then casts his own commander, Oviya Pashiri, Sage Lifecrafter.
Inspiration is reciprocal. We all have a responsibility to each other to create.
Going to combat, the Keeper of Fables attacks Kaalia. Donni draws a card on damage and pass. Kaalia then drops a mountain and casts Electrostatic Field. Jen then drops Jungle Basin. While she does forget to return an untapped land to hand, I'm pretty sure she thought the land only tapped for 1 as well, so it kinda nullifies the misplay. She cast Mother Bear. triggering Ayula and putting 2+1/+1 counters on the Queen of Bears.
My move is always to attack my husband first, like it's a thing. But I think I'll change it up. I know, right? Let's go for at Phil.
For a combat step, Ayula deals me 4 damage. I then drop a Godless Shrine untap and cast Trionic Resonator. I activate Break Through the Line to make Tymna unblockable, and I head into combat. I send Tymna to Jen. I gain 2 life but then lose 1 to draw. Donni takes 1 from the tapped vault. He then drops a Forest and casts Karametra's Acolyte. He goes to combat, sending the Keeper of Fables to Jen. She blocks with Mother Bear to deny the draw. Kelly then drops a Mountain.
You could let me draw a card and just take the 4 damage.
No.
Never.
She casts Neheb Dreadhorde Champion.
I don't know if you need to draw cards.
Excuse me?
Jen casts Runeclaw Bear. On ETB, the bear gets 2 counters. At the end step, I cast Path to Exile on Karametra's Acolyte.
You bastard.
It's a good card.
And then you get to search a land, so you're gonna be 1 above me.
I then drop a Mountain and cast Kaalia of the Vast. I activate Break Through the Line targeting Kaalia. With no reactions from my opponents, I enter combat. I send Tymna to Donni while Kaalia attacks Kelly. I put an Archfiend of Depravity on the board with the Kaalia trigger. I gain 2 from lifelink and lose 2 from Tymna, drawing 2. I then pass.
It's a 5/4, so if you fight a 4/4 bear with it, it's gonna die.
True.
Untapped. I'm gonna leave the vault tapped, take a damage.
Or I could keep it in play because I only have 2 creatures right now.
I mean, you're not wrong. It is gonna slow.
If you have only 2 huge bears, it's a good strategy.
Sometimes I have to ask myself, is that the best decision?
What would Ayula do?
What would Ayula do? She would say get rid of it and give me some more bears.
Donni casts Mikolath. On ETB, the Mikolath devours the champion and Oviya, gaining 4 counters. Hungry for more cards, Keeper of Fables attacks Kelly. Kelly then drops a Mountain. Heading into combat, Neheb attacks me. On damage, Kelly discards a Mountain, drawing a card and floating a red mana. In second main, she casts Heraldic Banner, passing. Jen casts Reclamation Sage.
But that's not a bear.
It's an honorary bear.
He was adopted from a farm.
Yeah, he was raised by bears. He was raised by bears. There you go.
He's there to open doors. He just has the hands.
Right. Cook porridge, the whole night.
He's the butler.
On ETB, it destroys my Resonator.
I have a feeling I'll be next if I do that. I'm gonna do it anyways. I am, because that's just where I'm at in life.
That's the spirit.
For a combat step, Runescar Bear attacks me. At the end step, my demon triggers and Jen sacrifices the Sage.
Anybody have 6 land? No?
No.
Nope. Just 5.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be the best person for land. I am not drawing lands. Luckily, bears don't really need a lot.
I'm like not ramping because of that.
Well, I mean, in a way, it's doing something.
It's doing what it's intended to do.
I then drop a Dragon's Skull Summit and cast Gilded Lotus. I go to combat, sending Kaalia to Donni while Tymna goes to Kelly. I make Tymna unblockable and put to the battlefield Lyra Dawnbringer with the Kaalia trigger. In second main, I cast Tome of Legends. I activate the tome and pass.
Do you want to murder Phil? Yes.
I mean...
Right, you should probably finish that sentence and then we can all vote.
That answer is definitely yes.
Donni does not untap the vault and creates 4 saplings. He casts Rampant Growth. He then heads into combat, attacking me with the Keeper and Mikolath. I block the bigger one with Wayfarer.
In response to the declaration of blockers, I'll pay 1 for a Might of Masses on the Keeper of Fables.
What?
Oh no, he chunk.
I take 9 damage and Donni draws a card. At the end step, Donni sacrifices his 4 sapling to my Demon's ability. Kaalia also cracks her Myriad for 2 basic mountains. This triggers Valakut twice, bolting Tymna and Kaalia. On her turn, Kelly casts Eye of Vecna. She follows it up with Arcane Signet. Before going to combat, the head comes to me once more.
Alright, babe, you're up. Put a dent in him. Put a big fat dent in him.
Well, I feel like we've all done that.
Yeah,
It's like, stop, he's already dead.
Jeez. Sitting here with my 3 lands and you're expecting what from me?
Bears.
Bears.
That's what I'm expecting is bears.
What's also unfortunate to not having lands is not having bears in your hand.
Oh, she.
Oh, and how many lands are in your deck?
Several. You just shush it over there.
She's always giving me grief about not running enough land.
He doesn't. Oh, and you have no blockers.
I don't have any blockers. I am wide open.
I mean, maybe we need to bring your life total down too.
Jen casts Gaia Zentham. She then decides that Donni is too healthy and sends 10 damage his way. On my turn, I cast my second partner, Vial Smasher the Fierce.
Watch out, watch out!
So, just like that, how many cards do you have in hand? Just, you know.
I cast Jeska's Will with both modes. I generate 6 red mana and exile my top 3 cards. I then drop Exotic Orchard and sadly can't cast Ruinous Ultimatum due to colors. I cast Trend Dynamo and a Bastion Protector. I draw with Tome of Legends and cast Fervor. I then go to combat, sending the Archfiend to Kelly.
Me?
Yeah, you keep sending me your cowman, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, you're forcing my hand here. I'm very tired of having your bitch. It was not for you. It was for something else. Chaos War. Put it back in your deck.
This triggers the electrostatic field for 1 damage, and I flip into Ancient Tomb. On his turn, Donni casts Second Harvest. To draw a card, he sends the Keeper to Jen. In second main, he casts Steel Overseer and pass. Kelly casts Mana Geyser for 14 red mana. She then casts her commander, Captain Ripley Vance.
If you were waiting for the opportune moment to try and stop me, that was it.
She casts Neheb the Eternal, triggering Vance, dealing 4 damage to Jen. She casts Arnfell, Horn of Bounty, the flip side of Burgi, discarding a Past in Flames to exile the top 2 cards of her deck. She plays a mountain from exile and bolts the Steel Overseer. She then casts Cleansing Fire, destroying her own mountain to get a new one, dealing 3 to Jen with the Valakut.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Going to combat, Neheb attacks Jen. Kelly does not discard any card and pass. Jen casts Descendant's Path and, very stuck on mana, passes. I cast Avacyn Angel of Hope. Vial Smasher deals 8 to Jen.
And it's got haste.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I should have killed you, love.
Nah.
Yeah.
I then cast Archangel of Thune and land drop Path of Ancestry. I go to combat, sending Vial Smasher to Jen while my angels attack Kelly. The lifelink triggers Lyra, putting 3 counters on my creatures. Donni land drops an Opal Palace.
That is like I don't quite have enough mana. Jen with her 3 lands. It's alright. You should run more lands.
He sends everything my way. I take 11 and gain 11, so my life total remains the same. In second main, he casts Harvest Season, searching for 8 basics to put to field. At her upkeep, Kelly pays 2 to draw an extra card. She discards Instant Tomb to exile her top 2.
Board of Bounty, so 1, 2.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a card.
She casts Blackblade Reforged. She discards her last card to exile the top 2. Getting some pretty lucky draws, she casts Soul Ring and equip Blackblade on Vance.
I mean, you could always take me and Jen out.
Good.
I can't. You have blockers, guys.
I won't block. I would rather die to you than Phil.
Yeah, but I'm gonna die to Phil.
I know.
I think that's
I think we're all gonna die to Phil.
I think that's where this game is going.
For her combat, Vance and Neheb the Eternal deals 17 to Donni, while Neheb Dreadhorde Champion deals 1 to Jen after blocks. In second main, Neheb generates mana through Donnie's Sacrifice. Kelly flashbacks Past in Flame, triggering Vance and the Electrostatic Field, dealing me 13 damage. She flashbacks Chaos Warp on Avacyn, and I get an Arcane Signet.
Even without taking out Avacyn, just the ignition play, you just kill me, right?
Yeah, but I had to trigger Vance and...
Well, by casting ignition, you trigger the other thing that deals 1, so...
Yeah.
I think you just weren't doing the math right, because...
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can just do that and kill you.
Nice.
Well, try it.
Yes.
Oh. Try it.
Okay, I'm gonna try it then. I'm gonna take 5 mana. And I'm gonna attempt to cast Chandra Ignition.
Okay, I will tap my land here, take 2. Draw a card. Alright, I would like to cast a Flawless Maneuver for free, triggering Vial Smasher.
Oh no!
Nice.
Do you want to be even or hot?
On the stack.
So pick hard or even.
Oh no, I'm not picking my own destiny.
Okay, if it's hot, you die.
It's odd you die.
It's a what?
And it is.
Heck.
Well, actually, okay, so when Striped Bear came into play, I had to draw a card.
Okay. Is that relevant?
No, it's not. It's absolutely not relevant.
But is it a land?
No,
Damn it.
Soul Ring. But dang it. No, like, the only other thing I could do is give her trample and give her +3/+3, but that would only get 3 through past the trample, which is not enough. It would still be at 7, and then I would die.
Yeah.
So good game.
Played.
Yeah, I can't. There's not enough there. Maybe if I had more lands, maybe.
Just maybe.
Done more.
Maybe.
Just maybe.
I
But
like to think so.
For somebody with 3 lands, you came awfully close to winning.
3 lands, that was pretty decent.
If you had like a beast within, it was over.
If only.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you missed any of our previously released episodes, I tried out a different style of editing, so I would love to hear your constructive thoughts on that. As mentioned earlier, YouTube's front page has been weird lately, so make sure to turn on the notifications so we don't disappear in your timeline. Give a follow to Donni and Jen on Twitter, take care, and we'll see you very soon.